What is up, guys? Hope you're doing well. I want to share something that might sound a little silly, but it's a little bit about my height. So, y'all know I'm not on the taller side of the dudes that I've come across in this life. I'm 5'5", a little bit short, right? I actually want to share a couple things about this. One is just on the surface that God protected me from insecurity about my height. I do make remarks, like some joking comments, but to me it feels kind of playful, just like let me throw out a little bit of self-deprecation so that I don't come across as quite as potentially sounding egotistical or narcissistic, I guess, or prideful or whatever. But I'm actually very content with my height. And a little rut kind of threw me around the road there. So protection from insecurity. I don't feel like a lesser human being, right? I don't feel like I need people to tell me how big the size of the fight in my dog is, like, I also didn't really grow up with that much social awareness. It's one of the blessings and curses of having ADHD is you just don't necessarily realize that you're short. I mean, you grew up in a short family, right? So in my home, we're pretty normal, right? I'm sized just like all my siblings are. And then you go to school and then, you just get used to looking up at people. And that's just kind of the way it is. And it wasn't until probably college where I was in a room where I noticed some guy from, just the other side of the room, like, 50 yards away. And I was like, man, that guy is short, like noticeably short, like he stuck out in the room because of how short he was. Like, wow. And I'm like, I gotta go see this closer up. And he wasn't like a little person, he was a full-grown adult, but just short, or normal, whatever. Not like genetically, mutationally short, if that's the proper way to say that. All that to say, I go up to the guy, and literally we are the same size. And I'm like, dang! That is how short I am. Like, wow! I didn't really realize that. And, it just kind of was God's grace to just protect me from feeling like, and even after learning that, it's not like, oh, now I'm going to change my demeanor or my level of self-confidence because all of a sudden I'm short. It's like, I've always been short. It is what it is. You live your life. I actually got some Facebook ads recommended to me this past week. Articles about people who did length, some type of like break your bones and then separate them a little bit, some kind of crazy surgery to add a few inches to your height. And this guy, this random teenage looking guy that's just sharing how much it's helped him to be taller. And I'm like, ugh, like it makes me sick in my stomach. Like, I don't want to do that. And it just feels gross. Like, like we're all just different heights, And so God protected me from insecurity. He also, inspired me to ask out Megan, who was 3/4 of an inch taller than me. So maybe that's just another evidence of my security. It's not like I'm tricking anyone by being married to someone that's 4'11" and thereby looking a little bit taller than I actually am in certain pictures. It's like, nope, I'm shorter than my wife, for sure. I will say, we were praying that I would grow, and then she grew, so we shut down the prayer team. I think I've shared that earlier this year. But the other thing I wanted to testify related to my height is that God has used my height in my leadership style. So if, I'm starting to feel a little bit like, have I literally shared this exact video earlier this year? So go ahead and comment down below if you're like, bro, you messed up. You said the same story. I have, that would be the first time, but it's bound to happen at some point this year. We're still in April though. I can't be having that when we're only 30% of the way through. But my leadership style, many have remarked, is, not like so many, but a few people who know me at different points in my life have affirmed or just encouraged the experience of being led by me by saying something along the lines of, it feels like you're leading with us, not like you're just telling us what to do. It kind of feels like basically you're coming under us and supporting us. And I realized that now my personality matches with this as well. I'm a wing 9, so I'm not like in love with confrontation. So that's a piece of it as well. But I realized it's literally because you look down on me physically. Like, if I was 7 feet, you would not say that about my leadership, because my tone, my voice, my words, the way I would be perceived would be different. It would come across as more authoritative, as more iron-fisted, as more domineering, and just more noticeably type A. Whereas people who know me well, if you know me well, you know that I'm type A. But like a lot of people that just experience me socially would not necessarily think that I am type A. Like I'm just, I just am willing to be hidden, I don't have to be the loudest voice in the room. I just might be, just might be though. It's not like I have to be though. Yeah, so just the physical reality of being shorter, and even growing up, I've mentioned this for sure in elementary school, how I've definitely shared this. Surely I've shared this. Man, I feel bad if I've already told this everything in here, but growing up in elementary school, the youngest for my grade, the shortest in the class, like you just learn quickly that just trying to bully people into doing what you want is not going to be the strat. It's not going to get you where you need to go. And so if you want to influence people, you will have to lead them in a way that jives with them. Let me persuade you. Let me maybe use humor. Maybe use a caring attitude of, this is going to be for your good. Let me help in the way that I lead, rather than let me just be in charge in the way that I lead. And that helped me to still have friends and, get through school. But as an adult, that style has carried with me, where it's like, hey, the move isn't strong-arm people. The move is help people see what you see. And if they see it rightly, they'll choose what you want them to choose. And you can still tell them what you want them to choose, but you're not going to bully them into it. You're not going to force them or even try to control them to do what you want. You're going to come under them, support them, help them, and in doing so, they'll come under you and support you and rally around you, and ultimately respect you more in some ways because of that. And so it's not the only leadership style. It's not like that's the best leadership style by any means. Even saying the word leadership style is maybe a little bit too leadershipy, for what I'm really trying to vibe right now. I'm just trying to say that my physical stature has helped shape the way that I lead And leadership is one of the clearest things that God's called me to, that He's talked to me about in my life. And so it's just kind of cool to me that the Lord has used even something as simple and as, maybe meaningless as how tall or how short I am, to think that He could use that and let that be an ingredient in the recipe of how He wants to use me in life. Just feels awesome. And that's why my stomach churns when I see people getting height lengthening surgery. I'm like, why? But I'm just thankful to be thankful, because shortness is not something that's highly valued in America. People desire to be taller, not to be shorter. But I'm thankful that God's given me security. I haven't felt belittled by others or by the Lord because of my height. And in fact, I feel like He's used it for my good and for others' good. And so thank you, Lord. I also love admiring me some great, tall, mighty men. I'm just like so inspired. Every time I see a big guy, I'm like, can I just like cheer for you? I'm just awestruck. Anyways, hope y'all are doing well. I'll talk to y'all soon. Life is worship. God is love.